Imagine a life where you no longer chase people, approval, or validation. A life where your peace is not disturbed by noise and your purpose is not dictated by the opinions of others. Imagine waking up not to the sound of chaos, but to the calm voice within you, a voice you once ignored because the world was too loud. Now, picture this. You are alone, but not lonely. You have let go of what no longer serves you, and in that silence, something awakens: clarity, strength, and truth. Buddhism teaches us that true transformation begins not in the presence of others, but in solitude, where your soul finally has space to breathe. This is your path to healing. This is how you rebuild yourself alone. And it starts right now with 10 Buddhist principles that will reshape your mind, renew your spirit, and return you to who you truly are. Stay with me till the end for a powerful bonus lesson that may change the way you see life forever. If you find peace and inspiration in these words, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so together we can spread wisdom and light to more souls on this journey.
1. Detach from the illusion of control. Most of our suffering comes from trying to control things we were never meant to. We want people to behave in a certain way. We want life to go according to our plan. We expect situations to unfold exactly as we imagined, and when they do not, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. But here is the truth. You cannot control what other people say, think, or do. You cannot control the outcomes, the timing, or the twists of fate. Life is unpredictable. People are imperfect. Circumstances will change, often without warning. Buddhism teaches us that pain is not caused by what happens to us, but by our attachment to how we believe it should happen. As Buddha wisely said, you only lose what you cling to. The tighter you hold on to expectations, the more you suffer when they are not met. But when you release that grip, something beautiful happens. You begin to experience life as it is, not as you demand it to be. Let go of trying to force outcomes. Let go of trying to fix everyone. Let go of needing everything to be perfect. When you stop resisting reality, you stop suffering. And in that surrender, you do not become weaker, you become wiser. Because now, instead of wasting your energy on what you cannot control, you begin to master the one thing you always can: your response. That is where your power lies, not in controlling life, but in how gracefully you meet it.
2. Sit with yourself, not your distractions. In today's world, it is easier than ever to run from yourself. Every time you feel discomfort, boredom, or sadness, there is a screen to scroll, a song to play, a video to watch, or a conversation to escape into. These things may seem harmless, but over time, they create a dangerous habit. You begin avoiding your own presence. You start to fear silence. You begin to resist stillness. And slowly, without realizing it, you become a stranger to your own mind. Buddhism teaches that true healing and transformation only begin when you stop distracting yourself and start facing yourself. Why is sitting with yourself so important? Because underneath the noise is truth. Underneath the discomfort is clarity. And the emotions you have buried, those quiet whispers of sadness, guilt, or longing, are not trying to destroy you. They are trying to guide you. When you learn to sit alone without reaching for your phone, without calling someone, without numbing your thoughts with noise, you begin to hear what your soul has been trying to say all along. You realize you are not empty. You are simply unattended. You are not broken. You are simply unheard. So sit, not as a punishment, but as a return to yourself. Let the silence feel awkward at first. Let the emotions rise. Observe them like passing clouds. Do not judge, just listen. Because the moment you become fully present with yourself, without needing anything else to escape into, you begin to remember who you truly are. And that, in itself, is the beginning of transformation.
3. Embrace the pain that rebuilds you. Most people run from pain. That is natural. We think pain is something bad, something to avoid, something to fix as quickly as possible. But in Buddhism, pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger. It is a mirror. It is the crack through which light enters the soul. The truth is, growth never feels like comfort. It feels like loss, like confusion, like everything falling apart. But just as a seed must break open before it can grow into a tree, you must allow parts of yourself to break so you can rise into someone greater. Pain is not here to punish you. It is here to reshape you. When you sit with your suffering instead of numbing it or escaping it, you begin to understand its wisdom. That heartbreak showed you what you truly value. That failure taught you resilience you never knew you had. That silence brought you face to face with the parts of yourself that need healing. You cannot rebuild yourself if you are always hiding from what hurts. And here is the shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This change in mindset turns pain into power. The most peaceful people you will ever meet are not the ones who never suffered. They're the ones who looked their pain in the eye, accepted it with grace, and allowed it to transform them. So do not rush to escape what hurts. Let it burn away the old version of you, the one that was too afraid, too dependent, too lost. And from those ashes, a stronger, clearer, and wiser you will rise. This is the beauty of pain. When met with presence, it does not just break you, it rebuilds you.
4. Simplify your life. Amplify your spirit. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, do more, and become more, simplicity often feels like a weakness. But in Buddhism, simplicity is not a step backward. It is a return to clarity, a return to peace. Think about it. How many things do you carry, physically, mentally, and emotionally, that you do not truly need? How much energy is drained in managing things that add no value to your spirit? The clutter in your home, the overcommitment in your schedule, the noise in your digital life, and the toxic people in your circle, they all weigh you down quietly and constantly. Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering. Not only material desire, but also the craving for more recognition, more possessions, more distractions. The path to transformation is not found in adding, it is found in subtracting. Start by asking, what is truly essential to my peace? Simplify your surroundings. Let go of what you do not use. Simplify your relationships. Choose depth over quantity. Simplify your mind. Release thoughts that do not serve your highest self. When you begin to live with less, you actually feel more space to breathe, more time to reflect, more energy to grow. Simplicity does not mean you give up joy. It means you stop chasing what does not bring real joy in the first place. It creates a sacred space inside you where your spirit can rise uninterrupted by noise or pressure. So slow down, clear the excess, let your life become quiet enough that you can hear your soul again. Because the more you simplify,
the more you amplify who you truly are.
5. Become the observer, not the reactor. Buddhism teaches that you are not your thoughts and not your emotions. You are the one who watches them. Yet most people forget this. A rude comment, a moment of fear, or a painful memory triggers them, and they react without thinking. Anger takes over, anxiety floods the mind, sadness pulls them down, and suffering grows. The path of awareness is different. Instead of being pulled by emotions, observe them. Like clouds in the sky, they come and go. You do not have to chase them or become them. Simply watch, breathe, and stay still. When you pause, you shift from reaction to response, and in that space, you find freedom. Anger is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. Even sadness is not the enemy. The danger is losing yourself inside them. So when anger rises, say, "Anger is here." When fear appears, say, "I see you, fear." Then breathe and let it pass like a wave rolling over you. This is emotional mastery. Strength is not in reacting the fastest, but in staying still long enough to choose peace over chaos. We also carry versions of ourselves shaped by pain, rejection, or past wounds. Maybe it is the not good enough version, the always fails version, or the one criticized and abandoned. Over time, we begin to believe that is who we are. But Buddhism reminds us there is no fixed self. The self can change, evolve, and be rebuilt. To grow, you must release the version of you that no longer serves your highest good. Let go of doubt, of shrinking to fit in, of reliving pain. That old self helped you survive, but now you are ready to rise. Growth means stepping into an identity built on wisdom, not wounds. This happens moment by moment, speaking kindly to yourself, refusing old stories, walking with quiet confidence. Letting go of the old self is not becoming someone else, but returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. So breathe deeply, forgive the past you, and remember, you are allowed to grow beyond who you once were.
6. Learn the power of walking alone. There will be times in life when you feel abandoned, misunderstood, or completely alone. Friends fade, relationships fall apart, support disappears, and you wonder, why is no one here? But in Buddhism, solitude is not to be feared, it is sacred. When you walk alone, free from noise, influence, and pressure, you finally meet the most important person in your life, yourself. The world tells us to stay connected, yet connection without self-awareness leads to confusion. You start living for others, saying yes when you mean no, and shaping yourself to fit their expectations. In solitude, that illusion fades. You begin to hear your own thoughts, to remember your values, your dreams, your strength. Buddha himself left his palace and comfort to walk alone. Beneath the Bodhi tree, in sacred solitude, he awakened. Solitude is where masks fall away, where the real work begins. No applause, no guidance, just you showing up for your soul. Walking alone does not mean being lonely. It means being strong enough to stand without anyone holding you up. When you can walk your path without applause, be at peace without constant company, and enjoy your own presence, you are becoming whole. So if life feels quiet and no one seems to understand you, remember, this is not punishment, it is preparation. Those who learn to walk alone lead themselves to the most powerful place of all, inner peace. 7. Choose mindfulness over multitasking. In today's world, multitasking is praised like a superpower. But the more you divide your attention, the less of yourself you bring to each task. You eat while scrolling, listen while planning your reply, walk while your mind races, and life slips by on autopilot.
Buddhism teaches the opposite, mindfulness, to be fully present with whatever you are doing. When you eat, just eat. When you listen, just listen. When you walk, feel each step as if it matters. When your mind is scattered, your life becomes scattered. Divided attention drains your energy, and rushing through moments makes you miss the beauty and healing they hold. Mindfulness brings you back to now, the only moment that truly exists. It calms the mind, clears the fog, and awakens your presence. You begin to notice the taste of food, the sound of the wind, the rhythm of your breath. You realize life is not later, it is here. Even simple acts, like washing dishes or sipping tea, can become sacred when done with full attention. So stop rushing, slow down, return to this moment. Because when you stop multitasking and start living mindfully, you do not just complete tasks, you rediscover life itself.
8. Accept what is and change what you can. One of the deepest sources of suffering in life is the fight against reality. We wish things were different. We replay mistakes, regret decisions, hold on to anger, and obsess over what is beyond our control. But here is the truth. You cannot heal by resisting what is. Buddhism teaches a profound balance, acceptance and action. Accept what is, change what can be, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Acceptance does not mean giving up, and it does not mean becoming passive. It means making peace with the present moment before deciding what to do next. When you fight what has already happened, you drain your energy. But when you accept it, you free up space to respond with wisdom. You do not have to accept injustice. You do not have to tolerate toxic behavior. But you do have to stop wishing the past were different. You do have to stop trying to control every outcome. Instead, ask yourself, can I change this? If yes, act with clarity and compassion. If no, breathe, let go, and trust the unfolding of life. Acceptance does not mean you agree with everything. It means you stop fighting reality so that you can meet it with strength rather than resistance. True action comes from stillness, not from panic. When you accept what is, you begin to see clearly the steps you can take. Here is what happens when you live this way. You stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop looping endlessly through worry and regret. You begin to move forward, not with fear, but with peace. Because peace is not the absence of problems, it is the presence of inner clarity in the middle of them. So remind yourself whenever life feels heavy, I will accept what is, and I will change what I can. In that simple and powerful mindset, transformation begins. 9. Choose compassion, even for yourself. It is easy to feel compassion for others. When someone else is in pain, we offer kindness, patience, and gentle words. But when we fall short, we often become our own harshest critics. We replay mistakes, insult ourselves in silence, and carry guilt for days, weeks, even years. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and punish ourselves when we fail to meet them. But here's the truth. You cannot truly grow if you are constantly attacking yourself. Buddhism teaches that compassion must begin at home, and that home is your own heart. Self-compassion does not mean making excuses. It means recognizing that you're human, that you are allowed to struggle, that healing is not a straight line, and that mistakes are part of the journey. When you stumble, speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. It is okay. You are learning. You are trying. You are still worthy.
because the voice you use with yourself becomes the environment your soul lives in. If that voice is harsh, your spirit hides. If that voice is kind, your spirit blooms. Think of a child learning to walk. When that child falls, you do not scold them. You cheer them on and encourage them to rise again. You must offer yourself that same grace. Even in your darkest moments, you are not broken. You are becoming. Even in your messiness, you are not a failure. You are a work in progress. Self-compassion is not weakness. It is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. When you stop fighting yourself, you create the space to grow. So pause, place a hand over your heart, take a deep breath, and remind yourself, I am doing my best. I am learning. I deserve love, even from me. Transformation begins not with force, but with gentle understanding, because the path to healing is not paved with self-judgment. It is built with compassion, step by step, breath by breath.
10. Break the cycle by breaking the thought. Each day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some help, some harm. Thoughts like, I am not enough. I always fail. No one understands me. Repeated often, they become beliefs that shape your choices, actions, and life. Buddhism teaches that reality is created by thoughts. Fearful thoughts make you live cautiously. Angry thoughts weigh you down. And thoughts of lack leave you never satisfied. But thoughts are not permanent. They are habits, patterns that can be changed. The key is awareness. Instead of reacting, pause and ask, is this thought true? Is it helpful? Is it leading me forward? Most are just old stories, not reality. For example, replace I always fail with I have learned and grown. Replace I am not good enough with I am growing and growth is messy. This is not false positivity, but conscious training. Just as the body needs clean food, the mind needs clean thoughts. Every time you interrupt a harmful thought, you weaken it. Every time you choose a new one, you strengthen a healthier pathway. Meditation supports this process. In stillness, you notice repeating thoughts and create space to choose differently. Gradually, you stop believing every thought. You become the observer, not the prisoner. And then, change happens. When thoughts change, beliefs change. When beliefs change, energy and actions change. And when actions change, life transforms. So if you feel stuck, look to your thoughts. Ask yourself, what story am I repeating? What new thought can I choose today? Because healing begins not with a new job, person, or place, but with a new thought.
Bonus lesson. Return to the breath. It is your anchor. In moments of chaos, fear, or uncertainty, one thing is always with you: your breath. In Buddhism, the breath is not just air, but your anchor to the present, the bridge between body, mind, and spirit. When life feels overwhelming, the mind runs to the past or the future, creating fear and confusion. But the breath exists only here and now. By returning to it, you return to peace and presence. Breathing with awareness calms your nervous system, slows racing thoughts, and centers you in stillness. When anger, sadness, or anxiety rises, return to the breath. It may not change the situation, but it gives you clarity and strength to face it. Your breath carries life force. Shallow breathing scatters energy, but deep, conscious breathing restores it. Science confirms that mindful breathing lowers stress, boosts resilience, and clears the mind. Remember, the first thing you did was inhale, and the last thing you will do is exhale. Every breath in between is a chance to begin again. So pause,
Place a hand on your heart and breathe. Even a single conscious breath can shift your entire state. When you master your breath, you master your mind. And when you master your mind, you discover freedom.
These principles are not just ideas, but invitations to let go of control, to sit with your own presence, to listen to the wisdom within your pain, to clear the clutter, to respond rather than react, and to walk with strength even when alone. To live mindfully is to accept what you cannot change, to offer yourself compassion, to break limiting patterns, and to return again and again to the breath that grounds you. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not behind. You are awakening. Trust this path, even when it feels quiet or hard, for the most powerful version of you is shaped in those silent moments when you choose to rise and return to who you truly are. Walk with courage and let peace follow every step. If you found these insights helpful, do not forget to like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments.
Subscribe and awaken your mind with Wisdom Kingdom.